Good morning, YouTube, and welcome to the Wellness Homesteader. I'm so glad you're here today. So, as you know, Homestead Tessie did a shout out for me a couple days ago on one of her videos. So, I want to welcome all the new subscribers. I am so glad you're here. And I have jumped up so much in subscribers that I decided that I needed to do a giveaway. So, I'm kind of watching to see where I land with all of the new subscribers to set a goal. And once I reach that goal, I will do a video announcing a giveaway, and it's going to be my handmade bath and body products for one lucky subscriber. So stay tuned for that. But today, I got so much great feedback on my soaping video and desire for you all to learn more about making handmade, homemade products. I thought I would do a product this morning that I could actually share the recipe. So this is not a recipe that I developed. It is a recipe that I produce. It's very popular and it's very helpful, and I use it myself. And it's called Healing Hand Balm, or I do change the name through spring and summer and call it Gardener's Hand Balm. It was originally called Gardener's Hand Balm. And again, this came from soapqueen.com. So let me swing you around here since I have my super cool new tripod. I don't know why I can never think of that name. So you'll see here, I have my scale. I have my Bath and Body product 4-cup measuring cup. And one of the pieces of feedback that I did get was that you all would like to learn about the properties of oils. So I'm going to try to include that as I go along in my videos. So we're going to start here. I'm actually going to make a double batch. So the first thing that I did is I disinfected all of my surfaces. Now, if you're making this for your own personal use, you may not want to go to the disinfecting extent that I do. However, I will say oils can become rancid, and you certainly do not want to introduce any bacteria or viruses into your products, especially if you're making a quantity that's going to sit on the shelf for a period of time. I've not had problems with this particular recipe going rancid, so I will share with you how I preserve it in a very natural way. So, disinfecting my countertops, I make my own solution, and it is distilled water. And the reason I use a lot of distilled water is because I am on city water, and my water has a lot of chlorine, a lot of fluoride, and other minerals, even though I have a water softener, that sometimes can impact the quality of what I'm producing. So I do use a lot of distilled water. So in here, I have made a combination of what you've commonly heard called thieves oil. And that's actually trademarked by, I believe it's Young Living, but it's a tried and true old-timey combination of essential oils that is known to be a great disinfectant and a great way to rid surfaces of any potential contaminants. So it is lemongrass, rosemary, clove, cinnamon, and eucalyptus essential oils. Now that is a lot of oils. I totally recognize that. Being a soap maker, I buy my oils in large quantities, so it's not a problem for me to produce this. And so just a small amount, fill it up with water, and it smells amazing. I use a little more lemongrass than the other ingredients. Lemongrass is naturally antimicrobial, but it smells so good and so fresh and so clean. So that's how I start. The next thing I do is I take my little spray bottle that is 91% rubbing alcohol. Let me see if I can drop you any further. Oh, yes. So these are the containers that we're going to be using. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to just spray them with 91% rubbing alcohol. And the reason that I do that is even though these are brand new containers, I don't know who touched them. And I certainly would not want to pour some beautiful product into a container that had any sort of bacteria in it. So the next thing I'm going to do is put on gloves. And I will share, you do not need to wear gloves from a skin protection standpoint. I do it from a sanitation standpoint. So I've already washed my hands and I'm ready now to start pouring oils. So I'm actually going to make a double batch. A single batch produces 7 ounces if you want to make some for yourself. So the first thing I'm going to use is extra virgin olive oil. So if you've ever noticed, classic olive oil is more yellow. Extra virgin, which is more refined, is a little more green. While I feel they have pretty much the same properties on the skin, I try to reserve the extra virgin for my personal cooking or for a product that is not colored so that this greenish cast, yellow greenish cast, does not impact my end product. So let me change my scale over here to ounces. So the first thing we're going to do is put 4 ounces of olive oil into our cup. Now there's a couple other things that you can do with this olive oil if you so choose. You can infuse it with herbs that have skin benefits, such as comfrey. So to infuse it, you would put comfrey into a glass jar, pour over the olive oil, warm it, and then let it sit so the properties of that oil will infuse then, the properties of the herb would infuse into the oil. For this recipe, I am just using plain olive oil. So the next piece is our apricot oil, and you can use jojoba or apricot oil. The reason that I like the apricot oil is it's very nourishing to the skin. It is not as greasy and it absorbs well. Jojoba is also very beneficial to the skin, but has a little bit greasier feel on the hands. And since this is a hand and foot, it works great on your feet, hand and foot balm. I don't want folks to end up feeling slimy or greasy. So let me zero out my scale. And this is kind of a strange measuring recipe, but this is what it calls for. So I need 2 ounces of jojoba oil. Apricot kernel. And I have made it both ways. I have received better feedback on the apricot kernel. That's why I'm using that. Alrighty, and then in addition, and this is what I find odd, you need 2 more tablespoons of the oil. So let's fill up 2 tablespoons. And yes, I have different measuring spoons for my Bath and Body products as well. So let's just use the spatula. The next ingredient we're going to add is shea butter. Now I purchased my shea butter from Wholesale Supplies Plus. They're based in Ohio. They have very fair prices. For me, it's quick shipping because they are located in Ohio. There are 2 types of shea butter. You can use the colored shea butter, which is very, very yellow, much yellower even than butter. And it's usually called African shea butter, or you can use the refined, which does have a much whiter color and appearance. So this comes in these ginormous blocks. And if you've never used shea butter, let me share with you. It is super sticky. So what we are looking for here, again, I'm going to zero my scale, and I'm just going to take a knife and cut off my shea butter. So and we're aiming for 4 ounces plus 2 tablespoons. So why use shea butter? Shea butter is very moisturizing and healthy for the skin. Kind of forms a protective barrier to keep your own natural skin oils in, which don't we all want that? So I love using shea butter. What I will say about shea butter is it's really, if you can't tell, it's extremely sticky. just happened to look at my amounts here. Hang on. Oh, we're going for 4. Sorry. So you don't want to overdo your shea butter. So the proportions can be very, very important. I do make a winter miracle body butter that is mostly shea butter. And let me tell you what, if you get too much of that on, you will slide around and slide out the bed. So we're getting close here to our 4 ounces. And I do like measuring everything with the scale. What I will say is, a little over, does it have to be 100% exact for making it? No. The reason that I do measure, and then I'm gonna add the additional 2 tablespoons. The reason that I measure it is because I want my products to be the same every time. And if I don't measure it, it's not going to be the same every time. So there's our shea butter. And because I am so sticky, let me wash up my gloves here right quick. And of course, I forgot to grab a clean dish towel, of course. All right, we're all set here. All right, the next thing that we're going to add is beeswax. So beeswax in this preparation serves 2 purposes. One, to harden the hand balm so that it isn't liquid or really, really runny. Oh, I hate these packaging things that you have to pull them apart. That's just a motion I'm not good at, but oh my word, I should open this ahead of time. The other purpose, and you may not know this about beeswax, is naturally antimicrobial. So I like using beeswax from both standpoints. So we are going to put in 2 ounces of beeswax. So I've zeroed my scale, and again, I'm using the little pellets. And we will just measure out, oops, one got away, our 2 ounces. Okay, so far everything that we've put in here is very natural, very easy to find. What you will see in a lot of Bath and Body products, I guess I could raise it up, is a preservative to keep those oils from being rancid. And I choose not to use the preservative because there is a natural solution that I bet you didn't know about, or you may not know about, and that is vitamin E. So you can buy vitamin E oil. Being frugal as I am, I buy the capsules. The one challenge is you do have to get some nice sharp scissors, and they aren't easy to hold on to. They're little slippery devils. Cut one of the ends off, and then you just squeeze that oil into your preparation. And I will tell you, I have a paper plate here. You may want to grab something that you don't mind throwing away, even a piece of newspaper, because this stuff is so sticky. If you get it onto your countertop, it can be a little bit difficult to remove. I found rubbing alcohol does a great job. If you get the vitamin E oil on your hands, it can be hard then to handle the next piece of vitamin E oil, so you may have to stop and wash. So why else would I use vitamin E besides the fact that it is a great natural preservative? Well, I'm sure you all have heard, and I'm not making this medical claim, that vitamin E oil is good for stretch marks. It's also a very good healing agent for the skin. So for irritations, for cuts, for open areas, and if you're homesteading, gardening, or even just cooking or just living life. You know, we all get little boo-boos on our hands. I unfortunately live in an area that is proliferative with poison ivy, highly allergic. And every year I have to generally schlep to my physician and receive some medical treatment because it really makes me ill. And having an autoimmune disease, my body way overreacts to that allergen. So I end up usually having to take a steroid before it's all over with. So I have found, even for my poison ivy, especially once it's starting to dry up, this stuff is fabulous. It takes away that dry, scaly look that you can get often when you've had some type of poison vine affect your skin. So we have all of our ingredients in. Just to review, we have our olive oil, we have our apricot kernel oil, we have 8 vitamin E tablets, we have our shea butter, we have our beeswax. So you have 2 options. I realize not everyone uses a microwave. I usually do. Beeswax has a very, very high melting point. So if you are not going to use a microwave, I would highly recommend that you put your container into some really, really hot water and just keep stirring, 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 because it's going to take some time for that beeswax to melt. Once this is all melted, I will bring you back and we will talk about adding essential oil and what the benefits are. So stay tuned. Well, we are back and our oils and beeswax have melted. If you are using a microwave, depending on your wattage, it actually took me 4 1-minute increments to get this completely melted. And I do stir each time so that I'm not overheating and overprocessing my oils or destroying any of the benefits. So it's still pretty hot. One of the things you don't want to do is you don't want to add your essential oils to your oil and then heat it, whether it's on the stove or in the microwave, because that can destroy properties in the essential oil. So now you have a lot of options as far as how you want to scent your hand balm. I prefer to use a product that would further promote skin health and healing. So I am going to use lavender essential oil. So the recipe actually calls for 3/4 of a tablespoon twice. Like I said, this recipe is a wee tad odd as far as it goes back and forth between physical measuring and in ounces. Oh, it smells so delicious. So lavender also has antimicrobial properties, kills germs in other words, as well as healing properties. So, smells so delicious. Now, you could add color to this. I figure the less artificial stuff, if you will, that I'm adding, the better. So I'm hoping you'll be able to see me pour these. So these are 2-ounce tubes. They roll up like a roll-up deodorant. They have a screw cap. And I've already sprayed these with my 91% rubbing alcohol. So now we're going to fill. So let me share a little something with you. If this is the first time you've ever poured into a roll-up container, even when you're pouring candles, you will end up, as it cools, getting a little divot in the middle, which annoys me to death. So what I like to do is pour mine, let them cool slightly, and then top them off. Sometimes I have to reheat my oil to really top it off to the point where I'm not going to have those divots. So I'm just going to put it here on my little hot mitt and stay tuned. I'm going to let these begin to harden. I'll bring you back and show you the divot in the middle, and then we'll top these off and talk about labeling. we are back. Our hand balm, as you see, has changed color. It's no longer liquid. It's still very soft, a little bit on the warm side. And I hope you can see right in the center is the stick that pushes up when you turn the bottom, that pushes up the entire bar, if you will, of the hand balm. I am going to go ahead and top this off now. I just quickly melted the remaining oil. And also, I'm always checking my videos in between when I'm doing multiple takes while I'm waiting for something to cool. And I realized I misspoke. And the lavender essential oil is actually 3/4 teaspoon times 2. So 1.5 teaspoons. I'll write out and drop the recipe below so that you will be able to have the accurate recipe. I will do it in actually the single batch, so it will make 7 ounces. And I'm just continuing to top these off because I don't want to waste any of this hand balm goodness. And sometimes when I have lots of extra, there is a little bit of variability sometimes in these containers. So I do have a little bit extra. I'll run upstairs, grab mine, screw it down, and pour some on the top. So I always have plenty of product. So, oh shoot, I keep forgetting I have a new tripod and I can tilt my camera very easily. So here we have them. Now I do want these to harden and solidify because I have topped them clear to the top before I put our sanitized caps on. Then I am going to put labels on. So if you like to label your items, this is a great gift giving idea. You certainly can use a number of configurations as far as containers go. You don't have to use 2 ounce. You don't have to use this particular brand. This also came from Wholesale Supply Plus. So I make labels. So there's the Healing Hand Balm, and these were my previous Gardener's Hand Balm, just to show you. So Avery labels, sorry, it's over here. They have a free online design and print studio. That's amazing for something free. So I used to go to my local Walmart. Why does your head itch when you can't touch it? And anyway, and purchase them in very small quantities. So I learned that you can buy the same Avery labels. They do have a different style number. So right here, you'll see this is 22808. These are the natural brownish color round ones. There's 9 per sheet. But you can buy them on Amazon in a much larger quantity for a much more economical price. Then when you go to just Google Avery Design and Print, you can create your own labels. You can print them yourself, or you can have Avery print them. I've never had Avery print them because I have a printer and it's just simple to do. So I list my ingredients according to FDA requirements, which is the largest quantity ingredient first, going in descending order. And then once this is all cooled, I've put the lids on, I'll go ahead and label it. So I will have these available. What I had in stock, bless y'all's heart, was purchased up yesterday and shipped today. So if you placed an order, it's in the mail. So I thought I would make 6 more. So if you would like to purchase them, I'm not here to sell product, but because of the level of interest, I want to be able to offer it to you. So if you don't want to make it yourself, you don't have the ingredients, or you just would like to purchase it, I charge $5 for the 2 ounce big container. It lasts a very, very long time. I also charge exact shipping plus, I usually round it up to the next dollar because I have expenses for the materials like tape and labels, etc. So I ship all over the US, not a problem. I ship priority mail. I use Square point of sale for invoicing. So what would happen if you would like to have some healing hand balm is you will need to contact me. You can drop a comment below. You can send the Wellness Homesteader on Facebook a private message if you don't want your email address out for the world to see on YouTube. I will need your email address. I will email you the invoice. Then I never see your credit or debit card. You can simply pay your invoice. I'll receive an email notification and I'll get that right out in the mail to you. So I will bring you back in just a moment for a very final look at our healing hand balm. It's so, oh mercy, it's so cold in my house today. I'm thinking like it's probably going to solidify really, really quick. However, what I've learned, the back of my house, which is where I am, faces west. So if I turn the heat on in the morning, being of that certain age where I have terrible hot flashes, I'm literally burning up by afternoon. So we have to endure in the morning because in the afternoon it'll be so much warmer. So stay tuned. I'll bring you back for a final look. Well, our beautiful natural hand balms are all finished. Tip you down here so you can see. So I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you found this helpful. One word of caution. Your cup or container that you used has beeswax in it. So the simplest way to clean it, and I've tried a lot of different ways, fill it full of boiling water, let that kind of melt after you've scraped out everything that you can, but don't dump that hot water down your drain and don't flush it down your toilet. I just run it out and dump it in a non-flower area of my property. And then you can take a paper towel or a piece of newspaper or junk mail, whatever, and wipe out that cup really, really well. So I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you found it beneficial. Leave me a comment below as far as what else you would like to see me make. I can make a variety of very natural Bath and Body products, and these are great for gifts. It's nice to have things like this on hand if you need an unexpected hostess gift or someone does something kind for you and you just want to give them a little token of your appreciation. So be well, be healthy, be blessed. Have a great day.